Good day, good people. I am called Dashawn Is. Clearing the crust away from the third eyelid so we can see clear and get into this. You know what I'm saying? And I got a dope interview for you today. It's a bit of a throwback. Like, this one goes back 5 years. Had to dig this one out of the archive. So, you know, some of the footage is kind of the sound, you know what I'm saying? But again, no procrastination. We're here to do work. We're here to put out beautiful content and celebrate people. That's another reason why I really wanted to do Finding Alignment, because I happen to know a lot of dope ass people. And I feel lucky because I feel like a regular dude in that regard. Like, you know, there's nothing special about me per se, but I happen to vibrate toward or attract or move toward people who are dope, who are doing real things in the world, people I sincerely admire or have something to teach me, you know what I'm saying? So what I learn, I like to bring to other people, so I hope you enjoy this. It's a good homie that I used to DJ with back in the day when I was hanging out in LA about 5 years ago or so. The reason I'm bringing this back is because I was starting a series called Table Settings back in the day, and where I just wanted to talk to real DJs about real DJing, you know what I'm saying? And one of the guys I wanted to hit up was 1/3 of a DJ partnership I had with him and my man A-Ski. They actually pulled me in when I was hanging out in LA for a while and let me do opener. So when I met him, I realized I already knew this dude from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Another one of his homies came in and I was like, yo, I know you too, you know? So we became friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've done some parties at his crib. I did a New Year's Eve party with him and all of Black Hollywood, basically. They got a tight coalition out there. It actually reminds me of what goes on in Atlanta in terms of camaraderie, helping each other out and whatnot. His wife is also a dope-ass actor. You might have seen her on Luke Cage. She was the main detective. Check her out, her IMDb. Check his IMDb. You'll notice that he has a scar on his chest. There's a story behind that too, but this interview was done actually not too long after him having a major aneurysm in the heart. I never heard of that before. I thought aneurysms were only in the brain, and every person I ever knew that had an aneurysm died. So, you know, I was very thankful. He happened to be rehearsing for an audition tape that I was directing and editing for him. And he was auditioning, and, you know, thank God he was at home and his wife was there. He had a good, easy surgery, I think, but some complications afterwards affected his walking. So, you know, we're catching him sitting down. He's recovering and rehabbing his leg at this time. But I have another story about how I kind of helped him recover in a roundabout way that I really didn't know about. Like, I kind of walked up on him telling the story, but that's for another time. But right now, I want you to get into this piece. It's interesting. You know, some of the references are dated, of course, because it's 5 years ago. But a lot of the information obviously is still relevant because we're talking about a person being in alignment with his passion. He's found his alignment with acting and with DJing. I hope that you appreciate this. Check out my man.
Just turn the label away.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Do you.
Audio is rolling. Camera is rolling.
All right.
Take one. Action.
So what we're going to do basically is just talk freely. Yeah,
No.
just do that. Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I can come over there too because it makes it a little bit easier. But what we're going to do is really just talk freely, man. Like, I want to get some basic real questions, but also some general kind of stuff. So
Okay.
Let's get it in first with the who, what, why, when, and where. State your name and where you from.
Oh, okay. My name is Tailwind Turner, also known as the actor Dorian Missick. I guess my DJing was in Brooklyn, from Brooklyn. Currently reside in Los Angeles. I forgot what the other question was.
No, you know.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. So the Brooklyn start though, how old were you when you started?
Probably started. It's crazy with the DJing thing is, I didn't really consider myself a DJ until I started playing in clubs, which didn't happen until I was like 28, 27. But before that, I'd always been playing records. Like, I was always the resident DJ of like my barbecues or my friends' barbecues or whatever, because I was always the guy with the record collection, and I knew how to blend records when nobody else I knew how to do it. But I didn't think I was a DJ because I wasn't a turntablist, so I never considered myself much of a DJ. So I've been doing that since I was like 18. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I started playing out in the clubs, like 10 years later, that I had to like come up with a moniker and all that other stuff. But prior to that, I guess you could say I've been DJing since I was like 18, but professionally only about since I was like 27.
So that's a good, knocking on 20 years. That makes you a vet compared to who's out there now.
Oh yeah, listen, technology allows us to catch up quick.
For real. So, but who would you say was the early influences? Because I think growing up in Brooklyn, you have good DJs on the radio, you have good block party DJs. But how did you come to first put your hands on turntables and be like, yo, I think I got a knack for this?
My uncle, BJ was a DJ. BJ the DJ. He was a DJ, and I remember just when I was a kid. He's like 10 years older than me, so he was more like a big brother. But I remember like going to my grandmother's house when he still lived there with her, and this is when he was a teenager, so I was preteen, little kid, and just sitting in the room, and he wouldn't pay me no attention. Would say what's up when I walked in the room, and that was it. And we were sitting there for like 5-6 hours. He just blend records, play records.
Never talking to you, but just
never
rocking.
talking. Yeah, just playing. So I remember that was like my first thing, because to me he was the coolest dude in the world. Like I wear Kangos because of him. Everything. It just, to me, I wanted to be him just growing up. So I was like, I already knew then I wanted to DJ. And so I think probably when I was like 13, I asked my mom for some turntables, and she bought me a 01W keyboard. Not quite the same. I started making beats though, so for that I was happy. I started making beats, but I still kind of was like, yo, I kind of got an itch to do this DJing thing, and for some reason you bought me this keyboard. I thought it was weird, but which I started making beats, and then which helped because I was also in a hip hop group as a rapper, and so we used all of those skills. But the records never left me. I was always buying records, always a record collector. And then I just decided, yo, I got to get back on it, man. I think really what pushed me over the edge, because I would always, like I said, I always play records at my barbecues, at my friends' parties. I was always that guy, but no one considered me a DJ. It wasn't until I think I started going to like APT and hanging out at Joe's Pub. I used to go there all the time on Tuesday nights, Eclectic Ride. And Rich Medina was there. And Rich would play records that I thought only my dad had. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would play like Tony Allen records. You know what I'm saying? That's what bugged me out. When I first time I heard, because I'm used to hearing Tony Allen from my father when he drinking and stuff, playing it. And I like it, I rock to it, but I didn't know that my peers were up on that. So when I heard this dude drop those records, and then I seen like the girls, and like, the dancer girls with the African assets. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Started dancing to the records. I was like, well, hold up.
I got those.
Yeah. I'm like, he's on to something. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely think he's like one of the forefathers in terms of like the Afrobeat. And, Rich was deep in the house music then and hip hop. He's an all around DJ, man. So for me, he was the first guy who made me think, yo, maybe people might like the records I like to play. You know what I'm saying? But still, I didn't step out because it was him, Q-Tip, Bobbito, Spinner. Like, it was so many cats that was so nice. Yeah. It didn't really make no sense for me. And because I had already long since been established as an actor. Like, people already knew me on the party scene, and they already knew me as an actor. It was kind of like, I didn't really take me seriously. You know what I'm saying? And finally, I just was like, yo, you know what? Don't really matter. I'm serious about this. I've been playing records for a long time, just like any other regular, quote-unquote, regular DJ. So I was like, yo, I'm going to just do it, man. I just jumped out and did it. You know what I'm saying? And been rocking ever since, man. And, those cats, I think, show me love. They definitely show me love. I think they have respect for me. I played with pretty much all those dudes I named. So, and they never said nothing to me about them thinking I was whack. Yeah, so I'm assuming they don't. Yeah. But that's an assumption.
I think it's a fair assumption. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What was your first record though? What was your first? You remember the first joint you ever bought?
The first record that I bought for myself was 2 records. There used to be the store called Alexander's, which they had like a record section, which was weird because Alexander's is kind of like the equivalent to like Mervyn's or like a TJ Maxx now.
Is this in Brooklyn?
I think it was in Patterson, New Jersey, actually. But because my grandmother used to live there, so she shopped there a lot. But I remember having some extra money, and I was going to a birthday party, and they told us we could bring our own music, and they asked to bring records. And I didn't have records that were mine. I had my parents' records, which I loved, all of their records. Their record collection was funky. But I was like, y'all want to bring something that my friends would probably dig. So I bought Disco Mickey Mouse and Off the Wall. Those are the first 2 records that I bought with my own money. And then I also bought the Salsa Orchestra Christmas album, but that was just for my own, just the jam, and really just because I like the cover. Let me.
That's a joint. Yeah, you gotta pull that down. That's a joint.
I don't know who this is. I don't know who she is.
Good boy. Yeah.
But at 8 years old, 7 years old, she was woman. So I was like, I know it's a Christmas album. My mom's like, what are you doing buying a Christmas album in July?
Don't worry about it.
I was like, it's for her.
Listen, she's still a woman.
She's smoking Joe Frazier. So I had to have this record, and I bought it, and it is still one of the jammingest records that I have in my collection. I mean, this thing is worn out. You can just see it's a terrible shape. Probably got my name on it. I know it has my name on it. Yup. Oh, and I got Bobby Brown, King of the Stage in here too, which is a garbage record. But yeah, so those were the first joints I bought.
Word.
And then after that, I just was a collector, like heavy duty collector. Just as a habit, you know, I mean, I come from a family of diggers, man. My cousin Gerard is the same deal. He don't even spin records. And he's got a record collection that, I mean, will rival any DJ I know. You know what I'm saying? He's a dude who we used to get up every Saturday morning and go to the village and hit all the little spots where you could dig to get records. We used to do that all the time. So that was something that we would do on a regular. He'd wake me up on Saturday morning and we'd go dig until like the afternoon, then go shoot some ball. Then when the sun went down, go back to some more record stores all over there. We should go play ball at West 4th. After we was done shooting, we'd go, there's a record store right around the corner from West 4th. I see Wesley Snipes in there digging for records. And we just would do it. Never, for me, it was never like, yo, I need to get this record for this party. It just was like, yo, I love music that much that I need my records. Right. And then once I realized, yo, that's what DJs do.
Like, wait, I am a DJ.
Word, yeah. You mean I don't have to be a turntablist to be a DJ? Wait a minute, Larry Levan is like one of my biggest influences, and I ain't never heard him scratch a record. Yeah. Not that I don't scratch, because I'm a child of hip-hop, but I definitely, like, I can't mess with DJ Scratch, for example. Or none of the Scratch Pickles, none of them dudes, so I was always thought, like, I must not be a DJ, because I don't do all the turntablism, and I can't scratch behind my back, kick Capri style. So I was like, yo, that means I'm not really a DJ, I'm a selector. And I was nervous when I first started to say that, yo, I'm a selector, which is true, but the reality of the fact is this: I play records, people dance, I move people's asses from left to right. I'm a DJ.
Essentially.
That's what it is.
So that's really what I wanted to chop with you too, because we think about the digital age that we live in, and there's a lot of controversy as to what a DJ is nowadays compared to where you came up from, old school with records and turntables and the whole nine.
Right.
And how do you feel that this change in technology has affected you as a DJ?
I think the biggest thing for me was kind of dope because, to be honest with you, like, I had always played vinyl, and I still do, you know what I'm saying, and would always carry crates and stuff to the different spots. But it wasn't until someone had put me on the Serato that I was like, wait a minute, so I could just take my laptop to gigs and really start rocking out? Yeah. Then that's when I really, like, I was like around like 26, 27, you know what I'm saying, when the Serato hit the scene. And, you know, a lot of DJs were saying nah to it, but a lot was saying yeah. That's when I was like, yo, hold up. And that's kind of when I really officially stepped into it. So not to say that I wouldn't have done it without Serato, because I was doing it before Serato, but Serato was kind of like the kicker in my ass to be like, yo, I could take my whole collection on the plane with an external hard drive and a record and a laptop. So, and then like with the things that you can do with like looping and all of that appealed to the beat maker in me, man. So I like immediately would make, like, I still do to this day, it's one of my favorite things to do, is to make you know, like re-edits on the fly. Like, I would do a remix in your face, you know what I'm saying, loop my favorite part of a song and then take like an acapella rap and put that over the top of it. Like, I love doing that kind of thing. So Serato kind of married everything that I like about music and about making music. It married it into like a one-stop shop sort of thing. And I mean, you know, there's a lot of those DJs. I've done gigs. I remember I did a gig in Brooklyn once where this DJ only used the computer straight up and down. It was finger popping.
And was able to blend and all that stuff?
Blending-ish.
Yeah.
Blending-ish. But no one complained. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, yo, listen, man, you got to move with the times. You know, I'm not going to be the dude to do that. That's not my lane. I like to touch the records. I like to feel the records under my fingers. But there's plenty of DJs who don't know records, man. Yeah. Like, I know before they came up with the Serato box, with the dual input, when you used to have to even switch over with vinyl, I did mad gigs with cats who was like, yo, I don't have no vinyl, and be panicking. I'm like, yo, son, relax. I got 10 good records. Use one. And they'd be like, I can't do it. You do it. And I was like, yo, and you're the headliner. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. What can I really do? I can't knock that. It's kind of like this, like the birth of the synthesizer. You know, there was a period of time when people only played was only on the acoustic instruments and all that, and they looked at cats who was on the synthesizer and electronic instruments and was like, yo, you guys are whack. You're messing up the industry. I mean, in a way, yeah, it does kind of mess it up for cats who really could rock, because now anybody can kind of DJ, and that's real rap. I'm not just saying anybody could call themselves a DJ. Anybody can play records back to back. You know what I'm saying? Whether they really rocking a party or not, it doesn't matter. But they take gigs from dudes who are like DJs for a living, you know? And that's kind of harsh, but at the same time, it's just the change of the times, man. Like, what can we really do about that other than just get better? You got to make yourself irreplaceable. Can't nobody do what spinning does. I don't care how many computers you got. You can't mess with that dude. I dare you to try to do what Kid Capri or DJ Scratch does with your fingers. If you can, if you that nice with your fingers, then you a DJ. I don't care what. Listen, if you that nice with your fingers, I ain't got no problems with you, man. You know, Rich Medina's carved his own lane. Q-Tip, these cats have carved their own lanes, man. So, what are you really gonna say if a cat can compete with that? It's just a lot of dudes ain't competing with that, and these promoters or bar owners or club owners are putting these people on, the Paris Hiltons of the world, the Nick Cannons of the world, putting them on and paying them real dough. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate, but at the same time, you know what that is. It's a popularity contest, and there's always kind of been something. So I feel like rather than sit around bitch and moan, you got to make yourself irreplaceable, whatever that means, incorporating those skills or whatever. And I noticed that, you know, I see Scratch does that. Scratch got the show that he does on the internet, and like, you know, like they got things to make themselves relevant and to stay in the game and say, listen, I started this gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's not gonna sit back and just let these push finger DJs take over. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, and it's cool, you know. It is what it is. It's just another element to it. It's like I'm an actor, as my regular everyday gig, and it was like when the rappers got introduced to the game. What are we really gonna do? You gonna sit around and bitch and moan because rappers is getting your job? Nah, you gonna compete. You know what I'm saying? I just got almost booted off a movie right now for one of our favorite rap actors. It is what it is, B. I'm still good. I'm still chilling. I got a house in the hills. I'm not really sweating that. But that's the reality of the fact, man. This is the world we live in.
All right. I want to go back and visit the rap group you was in. In fact, that started in ATL? Mm-hmm. Okay. So tell us a little bit about the name, who was in it, how you kind of got in that.
What was some cats that I grew up with from little bit. Our families all relocated to the South, to Atlanta, and we all music heads in different ways. One, you know, they're my best friends till to this day. My brothers, Hakeem Young, Jermaine Molly. They ended up being these big producers, hits for like lots of people. Jagged Edge, Eric Roberson, Amory. Like they did a lot of stuff and still continue to do these things. But we're just into it, and like I think what happened is once again all of this stuff kind of comes from just being in a creative space with no pressure. Look, we were all into music. I had my records, and I had my O1W. They had keyboard. Jermaine plays the guitar. We had stuff, and we would play around. You know what I'm saying? And would rap over the music that we did, not thinking nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? Tribe hadn't dropped just yet when we first started doing this. Then Tribe dropped, and we was like, that's a nice album. Those dudes is nice. But still, they was the only ones doing it. So it was kind of like, if we do an album where we rapping over jazz music, we're going to look like we trying to bite off Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. Then MTV did the very first Unplugged. I don't know if people remember that, man. But the very first Unplugged that I remember, and I'm almost positive is the very first Unplugged ever, was rappers Unplugged. Rapping over with a band behind it. It was LL Cool J, MC Lyte, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest. I think that's all the people who did it, man. I hope I'm not leaving nobody out. But it changed my world, man. When I watched that, I was like, yo, that's what we got to do. And we recorded a demo that weekend. My man Jermaine on the guitar, and then laying another track of him on the bass. me playing some chords, and we rapped over it. And then, we shopped it around. We had some success. We got shelved at one of the more popular labels. We did get a deal.
Interesting. What was the name of the group?
The name of the group was Philosophical Vibe. Very 90s-esque.
Yeah.
And I got to relive that glory in a film that I did called Big Words, which is pretty much an underground cult classic right now. But I got to relive my hip-hop days because it was about a group that had some moderate success. And they actually used our press photo in the movie. They just juxtaposed the other two actors' faces over my boys' faces and left my face on it. I thought that was dope.
That's what's up. So, any aspirations to go back in that direction, or is it just that was just a part of your life at that time?
That's just part of my life, man.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them deals where if anybody ever wanted to let me do a verse, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like, at the BET Awards, they got the cats doing the 16 bars or whatever. I would do something like that because I still got them in me. I still write kind of regularly, but I just don't take it seriously anymore. I'm the kind of dude who I do a lot of different things just to kind of get creative stuff out of me. So, and don't think to do any. It's kind of a gift and a curse. Don't think to do anything with it. It's just like, I wrote like half of a book. It's just sitting there. I'm gonna finish it, I promise. But I'm kind of just like, I just kept writing it. Next thing I know, I was like, dang, I got a book. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just writing for fun. So that's kind of how the rap thing is. It's like, I'll hear something incredible and be like, it'll make me, I've still got it in me, it'll make me want to write a rhyme. Like, I'll hear a song and be like, I got, like the first time I heard Otis, I was on my way to a gig, I pulled the car over because I had to write down the verse. What did I think I was going to do with it? I don't know, but it just was in me, man. I was freestyling over it the whole time I was driving to the gig, and I pulled over and wrote it down. And I got it in my journal. Maybe one day it'll come out.
It is a different landscape, though, like the whole music industry, which really, if you think about it, you can draw the line of change to Napster. As soon as music was made free. Yeah. Because everybody
made for the internet.
Everybody's always been stealing music anyway. That's nothing new. Like, they've always been
making dubs music, and all of that.
But I think like once he did that, it changed the industry, and everybody who was selling millions now had to become an actor and make clothes and do all that kind of shit. So it probably would be a more challenging journey to get into it right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a young man's game. I'm almost 40 years old. What I look like trying to start a rap career right now. I look ridiculous. That's what I look like. Because the records that's selling right now, that's really making money, if you're my age, is the reason why you're selling is because you've been in the game for a while. So you could tell it from an OG's perspective, like, I already did that. On some Snoop stuff, like, I already pimped that girl. That girl you talking about, I already been there. Jay-Z, I already went to that hotel. That kind of thing. But if you imagine being a new dude talking about popping bottles in the club, well, you should be. You 40 years old. Yeah. What you doing in the club in the first place? Yeah. If you're a 40-year-old and you go into the club and you ain't in the VIP, stay your ass home.
Just chill. Yeah, chill.
Why is that record worthy? You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't really have nothing to share. Yeah. What I'm gonna talk about? Yeah, got married. I'm in love. We're gonna try to have babies. It's not a cool record.
It's not the fucking selling record.
It's not a hot record, yeah.
It's pleasant.
It's cute. Yeah.
Word. Okay, so let me see. Are you good? I just saw you kick it a little bit. Are you good with the frame?
Oh, we're good. We're good. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. All right, so boom, boom, boom. All right, so talk to me about, first of all, the earlier influences. Like you said, you were listening to your uncle, who was the coolest. Mm-hmm. But besides your uncle, who are your heroes when you started to just walk into it? You're like, let me see what I could do with this. Who would you be if there's somebody out there right now that you could say, I wouldn't mind a career like that on the side of your day job?
I would say musically, I've always been a fan of Q-Tip. I think that like what he does, and he's kind of got that free spirit in the terms of like the creativity that he does. Like he'll make an album that's kind of like a little acoustic, doing some singing. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Whatever. And then at the same time, the records that he plays, I feel like our musical sensibilities are very closely aligned, which is why Tribe spoke to me so much. Mm-hmm. And he kind of just rocks how he rocks. Q-Tip will throw up a party, and it'll be the place to be for like about 6 months. Then he'd be like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Unlike APT, him and Rich had APT rocking. Him, Rich, and Bobito, I believe. APT rocking for years. Yeah. But like, you know, that kind of thing to me is really like what I feel is like a cool DJ life. You know what I mean? You rock out, come to a city, do some parties for a little while that people really dig and they remember, and it's an event, and it's not your average, but it's a little bit of your average, but it's not just your norm. You know what I'm saying? And because it kind of really shows he really is able to express how universal music is, because he has young and old fans. I remember going to his album release party, and was it his album release party or was it Nas's? I think it was his. And yeah, because Nas was there. And the young kids got on stage. It was young dudes, like the dudes who we like now, like the Joey Badasses of the world. And they was like, yo, I got introduced to Q-Tip. I remember when he came out with the old school joint, Vibrant thing. And I remember being like, oh,
wait, what?
This is crazy. No way you just said that. You know what I'm saying? But he did, you know, and then, you know, Kanye was there. Kanye got on stage. I think it was Q-Tip's album release because everybody was there celebrating him. But I just remember being like, yo, this dude has like fans that go from all over. And I got a little dude, young dude that I'm mentoring as a DJ. You know, he's really nice, man. This kid, no DJ ID required. He's a Cali kid, nice with his. And the reason why I was like, yo, I'm rocking with you. Number one, me and his mom was mad tight. She's like one of my best buddies. But also because he was like, yo, man, you know, my favorite group is A Tribe Called Quest. He's 17 years old.
That's dope.
I was like, word. So to be able to have that kind of musical influence is dope to me, man. So I think Q-Tip is a good guy for that. Like a good example of, he recognizes that and he brings those worlds together with his music. You know, so people come to hear his music, hear him play because it's the cool thing to do. And also he'll play some Drake so y'all feel comfortable. But then he'll play Shaka Khan and, you know what I'm saying, and get into it. Sting, like he'll do it. And I kind of dig that, you know, about his musical sensibilities.
So, I mean, I guess you spoke into it a little bit, but what would you say then is your intention as a DJ in the world? Like if you're looking at the long term, what would you be able to say about your legacy?
Long-term DJ legacy for me is just bringing people together in the name of music. One of the things, biggest compliments that I get a lot, because I play, you know, I'm an actor, and so a lot of times I get booked or misbooked on Hollywood events. You know what I'm saying? So I'll end up doing like NAACP awards or something where I'm like, I have no business playing for these people because they don't know the records that I know, and I'm able to not even sneak incorporate like Afrobeat into, you know, play right after, not right after, but like right along with Robin Thicke and Usher and all of the records that they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to incorporate it, and when the night's over, people are dancing and begging me to play the stuff that they don't know, and like begging for it, like, yo, play something else like that other one, them drums, oh my god. And you're like, yo, that's, to me, is you want to give people an opportunity to experience something without feeling like you're shoving something down their throat. I think a lot of us DJs, we get real caught up in the fact that we get frustrated that we're asked to play the same 10 records over and over again. And so we take it out on the audience. It ain't the audience's fault. That's what they want to hear. What can we say? You know what I'm saying? They don't go out every night like we do. So when they go out, they want to hear what they heard on the radio. It's unfortunate, but it's the case. So I like to be able to, my legacy, I would like to be known as the guy who introduced someone to something else, that made them go buy another record, made them get into something else because of my influence, whether it be as an artist, as an actor, or whether it be just because they just really dug my music, man. It's that's what I think would be the ultimate thing, and bringing different worlds together, you know, different cultures and ethnicities, and just, you know, bring everybody together, bring it back to like what it once was, where the party was about love and not about standing around buying bottles and mean mugging. I did that in the 90s. Y'all late with it, man. Cut it out. Yeah, we done with that, yo. Y'all easy with that. Sorry you didn't live through it, youngins, but it's really not worth it. Y'all fighting so bad in these tight-ass jeans. I'm just not understanding that shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Don't talk to me about
I'm just not understanding it. But listen, my dad and them did the same thing. You know, in the 70s, they wore them tight-ass jeans and whooped plenty of ass. You know what I'm saying?
And that's only because they didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they whooped plenty of ass in they dungarees. But now I'm just like, I'm not understanding this shit, man. Y'all relax. Y'all looking too soft for this fighting shit.
I really couldn't wait. I remember when they first, when so-called black designers like Carl Kanai came on the scene, Cross Colors, when they started making pants that could fit different body types. Because before that, I was that dude who always felt like I was rocking tight jeans for no reason. Like, there was nothing for me to do. So I had to rock them. You know what I'm saying?
He had to wear Huskies.
Oh my
Was
God.
you one of them dudes?
Oh
I had to wear slim jeans. So I remember I used to hate that.
Never
Slim
Huskies,
section.
but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Though, but something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn it, man. All right, so I forgot where I was gonna go next. Hold on a sec. Let me get my thoughts back. Because you said something I want to touch on. But you said something about.
2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes left on the card.
Yeah.
Okay, pause it.
I think the biggest thing that informs my style as DJ is me, my life experience. You know, I have no problem pulling because I have so many different. I mean, you know, I'm half Bahamian, more than half Bahamian, 3/4 Bahamian, and so there's the calypso background that I grew up listening to calypso music. You grow up on the East Coast in the New York area. There's hip hop.